Here we are back at Racing Rant in the park here. We've got your emails, which is, I've got to say, the most important thing about the whole site and whole show. It's the thing I look forward most to when I go to my email box, because I get these all first. Big announcement. All right, we all know about the history of the Punters Show. Mark and I were in the Punters Show and we kind of never got paid anything. And then we got involved with Top Better and, okay, I said I hate jockeys and blah, blah, blah. I mean, who gives a shit? So they got rid of us. So we've been doing this Racing Rant now for 4 or 5 months and we really haven't earned any money. Has it been that long, has it? Fucking hell. We really, you know, sure, the money we do make from tips and whatever, we got no providers. All our tipsters left us and went to Top Better or One to Follow. Hello, boys.
Yeah,
that's all over.
One to Follow said, see you later.
Then One to Follow got rid of them. So that was a good decision by all you blokes, but fuck off, we don't care anyway. We've had to put our head around how this site can make some income because we've got Gord to pay, does 3 or 4 shows a week and does a lot of work with me out there sending my tips out, and he's got to be compensated. And of course the running of the whole site, there's a bit of things that go on. So we've come up with an idea and we hope you're going to be happy with it as our viewers, because that's the most important thing. So we're going to start this Saturday, so basically from September 1 on, September 1's Friday, and we're going to try it out for basically the whole of spring. So we're going to do September, October, November, and if it doesn't really work out after we've given it a good 3-month trial or we can't still make any finances out of this, I suppose we'll see the end of Racing Rant, and a lot of jockeys will be happy. I'm sure most people in Racing New South Wales will be happy, but I'm sure you'll be disappointed.
Hey, does this mean you're postponing the hanging?
Yes, I'm now dying at 56. We put our head round what was the best thing, the best packages to offer you punters at a price which was more than fair, we thought, and that you could afford and would give you great value for dollar. So in conference with Gord and Mark, it's not a thing we've you know, spoke about lightly. We've been planning this for months now, and it starts this Saturday, so we need you to sign up during the week. And what it is, there's going to be 2 forms of membership as far as Racing Rant. They are, firstly, a silver membership, which is going to be $5 per week, and that will entitle you to watch all the shows. That's the 2 previous shows and the rant on the Monday, and also come to any functions. We're going to have 2 functions a year, and you'll be a silver member at the Racing Rant and paying $5 a week. Now, a lot of you out there have bought products, and I understand, like, you know, $33 for my stuff, and Mark's comprehensive is at 60 or 80.
It's 60, it's actually $80.
Okay, so, and I understand for the smaller player, they're the bloke having $20 each way or betting $50 on the quantity. They're expensive products. If you're betting in hundreds or thousands, they're reasonable, understand that they're reasonably priced products. We put our head around everything and we've decided that we're going to have a second membership, which is a gold membership. And for the gold membership, and because also the interest, you are now going to get my mounting yard mail on a Saturday, all city meetings mounting Monday. So I'll be doing Wednesdays and public holiday Mondays. All city meetings mounting yard Monday. You'll be getting Dicko's mounting yard mail from Melbourne on a Saturday, and you'll be getting Mark's full comprehensive set for all city meetings. To cut it, it's you know, it's
got a staking plan as well, the comprehensive. So you get the staking plan and the comprehensive. Well, the comprehensive set's got the staking plan with it as well.
It adds up to about just under $300 per week, what it would used to have cost you, and now we're doing it for one flat fee of $22 per week.
Which includes the Racing Rant membership. So it's in fact, for an extra $17,
you get all the products. So we're having a shot at the stumps and we're offering our stuff at a massive discounted price, obviously trying to build volume, obviously trying to work out a way to make a quid out of this site that we've put a stack of time into. And I think $22 a week for all 3 shows and all the products all week. There's a lot of people that'll be just stoked straight away because your regular customers getting my stuff, getting Mark's stuff, and all of a sudden all your costs have just come right down. Yeah. We start signing up people this week, and we start from this Saturday, and starting this Saturday, we're doing the first 2 weeks for free. So the first 2 weeks you get probably 5 mounting yard mails, get all Mark's comprehensive form, Dicko in Melbourne twice, and you get a chance to have a really good look at it and have a look at it and get involved with us as a side for a price we hope, because we're always a bit embarrassed about money, that A, you can afford, and B, that you're happy to pay. I mean, at $5 a week, let's face it, like a coffee costs you $4 and we all get a coffee once or twice a day. And the previous shows do produce a lot of value in not just tips but firmers, and I know a lot of you out there really love the rant. So look, that's what we're proposing. We're starting this week, and we're going to give it 3 months to see if we can grow and develop something. And if we can't, well, at least we've all tried, and Racing RANT can, I don't know, go into the past memory of Punter's Show, and maybe Dallas and Todd Buckingham at Top Better will give us jobs.
Your supposed suicide and maybe the death knell of the Racing RANT, there's one swap for the other, has it?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Did I explain it well enough, Mark?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's absolutely fantastic. $22 a week. Like, seriously. It makes me sick to sell stuff for $22 a week. But yeah.
Every single thing we have on the show, a bar, of course, Ratings to Win, which is a separate part of our business, and obviously you're dealing with Paul Daly. But that'll still be on the side. We'll have no other providers. It's just our stuff, our weekly tips, my mounting yard mail, Mark's comprehensive sets, all the shows, and Dicko in Melbourne on a Saturday. We get Dicko for every meeting, but he has a normal job during the week, so he can only do the Saturdays. And he'll be a major player in the joint going forward. And look, email us in if you think it's fair. If you think it's unfair, email us in. Give us all the different opinions, because we read all of them out all the time. And get on board with us. If you can't, well, you can't. But you get 2 weeks for free, so...
Yeah, and I stress that. So I'll be asking you to sign up through the site this week. And there will be no billing for 2 weeks.
Yeah. If you've already purchased, and I know quite a few of you purchased mounting yard mail ahead for next Saturday, we will be refunding the money. Like everything here at Racing RANT, you've only got to ring up and say, I want my money back, and we'll give you the last 10 years back if you want. We don't give a shit. We haven't got any money. What's the difference? We're not about robbing anyone or making too much money. We just need to be able to cover costs and get some sort of income out of it now that good old Top Better brushed us.
Yeah, so that's exciting. All Sydney city meetings, mounting yard mail and my prices, and all Melbourne Saturday meetings.
It's a lot of information for basically $17 a week, because more than likely you'd probably want to pay the $5 because you want to stay involved in the show. We hope you do anyway. Look, we'll see how it goes, and we'll report back every month type thing and tell you how we're going financially and whether it looks a goer. And, you know, if the numbers it got really big or something and we were making too much money, we'd bring the price down. That's how we roll here at Racing RANT.
Beauty. Thanks for that, Glenn. Okay, so on to part two. And thanks, Matt, for sending us through, actually, Luke Hilton, the trainer, sent us through a video of the lobster, unencumbered out of lobster, who apparently they're calling Mornay in the stable.
Watched the work the other morning. I've got to say, I got the video. Now, it was only really light work, and again, but like a very, very professional group, this young Luke Hilton, to send us all, kind enough to send us videos of how the horse is going. I hope he treats all his owners like that. I'm sure he does. And
most trainers are on the level these days, you know.
I watched, prize money, they need to win money.
Yeah, so that's Luke, who's doing his best out at Hawkesbury. And the Racing RANT horse with Chris Lees is, yes. Dicko sent through some news last week. He said that the colt had begun pre-training again at Ellalong Farm, back into Chris's stables at the end of this week, and hopefully turning up in the Canterbury trials, the official 2-year-old trials, in 4 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time.
I think it's fantastic news that we're turning up for the early trials.
How exciting is that?
That's a good sign.
That is a good sign. I'm pretty excited about it.
Dicko writes, Chris is never overly confident in his appraisal of his horses, so we should be really excited. The colt obviously has a few things to nail as he goes forward, but anyway, there'll be a meet and greet for the Lope de Vega colt Racing RANT owners, Sept 10, isn't it? You're going, Glenn, I'm going. Dicko's organising a, and I'm sure we'll get Gord there as well. He pretty much turns up the opening of an envelope.
Gord, you'd go anywhere, wouldn't you?
Of course.
You go to a Hitler reunion with this free beer.
Speaking of the neo-Nazis, the Saturday paper announced the return of the neo-Nazis.
Well, they're returning. Look at Europe.
You've got to like them. You've got to dig the neo-Nazis. You've got to dig everybody that blows up a bit, don't you?
Oh,
doesn't the world need blower-uppers?
Something's going to happen in the near future. Something's going pear-shaped at the moment.
I tell you what, I was just talking about, no, not neo-Nazis, but someone outside the box, and that's Ronnie Dufficy. I was listening to him yesterday with the racing review of the replays, and after the race, getting a detailed description of where runners were and how that was a good run and that wasn't. Honestly, it was so refreshing to listen to Ronnie. You forget what a talent he is, and how that Sky or that keep him, I'll never know. He's just got so much ability. We're so lucky to have him, because when you hear the other blokes talk, it's just unlistenable.
Well,
if
we've
that's
lost
a word.
Another one, haven't we? Hasn't Ian Ashman gone?
Who's gone now?
Nick Ashman.
Where's he gone?
Well, he mightn't have behaved himself, but I'm not exactly sure of the details. But I'm told.
Oh, what a good man!
I'm told that he's been brushed.
I think one of those two new young kids could maybe stand up.
A. Pengelly or
And there's another one that writes for one of the papers or something like that. They're a little bit obvious at the moment, but I think they could improve. So maybe there is some hope.
Someone was giving the guy in Melbourne a rap as well. Was he racing?
Dean Lester.
Do you know who'd be a great fit for Sky and for race reviews and like appeal to the TV eye? Not saying he's handsome, but he's not like a box of fucking crackers. Is Matt Taylor one?
Yes. Matt Taylor won.
He'd be a great fit.
And he's very PC too, so that fits with them. So.
And he gets uncomfortable when I used to be racist and all that. I used to curl on a big ball. He cries and that. Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know if he'd take it, but I'm just like, listening to Ronnie was just such a pleasure. Like, and I kept thinking, wow, I wonder when they're going to sack Ronnie.
You know, like we complain about it, but also you've got to take the positive side of things, and that is, if that's what majority of people are thinking, like, that means there's an edge for us and maybe people who watch our show to look a little bit more in depth at it.
I mean, we want
and
the
find
mainstream
angles.
to be mainstream.
Yeah, like sometimes I watch and I'm like, oh, I'm really happy that you're
but
retarded.
as a society,
you know?
we're also obliged to sort of lift, society. Our gig as being humans is to actually make life better.
Is that our gig?
I think it is.
To evolve.
I would describe the meaning of life as to touch the lives of people around you.
Wow, are you like a minister as well, Lamborn?
Hillsong. him and Chris Waller.
Okay, but think about the mainstream. Surely the mainstream, when you first came into racing, was much dumber than the mainstream now.
Yeah, now it's sharp.
Well, it's relatively, isn't it?
Well, you look at the success that Gay had straight off the bat with her training, wasn't it? I mean, that was a lot to do with Horry and noticing the fact that getting your horses fit and going forward was the way to win races, and she completely dominated for 10 years, so...
She sure did. Well, speaking of someone else that is a potential dominator, apparently Brisbane Mountie Yard Mail met up with a young fellow by the name of Brodie King. Shout out to Brodie King, who's an avid RANT watcher. He's from the Gold Coast, and man, he's said some clever things on Twitter. And one thing that I particularly liked was he wrote, "Hippo is an ATM in Sydney. I can bet with him."
What's the ATM mean?
Him with confidence any day. Money
Put
machine.
in, take out.
Oh, okay. As an ATM, yeah. Well, we've been saying that for 2 years, and he just he punches them forward and he's strong.
Right, but where is he?
He's been suspended because he moved out on that horse.
Oh, that's right,
he
Canterbury.
Got at Canterbury when he won the race.
Right, so when's he back?
I'd say this week. He got 7 days. Yeah. He'd be,
Okay,
you shouldn't have got 7 days for that.
Brodie King, if you want to get to Lismore, Brodie, we're all going to Lismore on the subject of the Lismore Cup on the 21st of September. Jack wrote, "I'm a massive fan of the show. It's exactly what the game needs. The truth. I'm a Lismore local too, and we'll be trackside Cup day with bated breath. Tell the Glenster he's in for an absolute fucking ribbing from 50 plus blokes." Are you excited?
What do you mean they're going to bag me?
Lining up, they're turning up to bag the shit out of you.
It's going to be so much fun.
Fuck, I mightn't go now.
Not in a bad way. They'll just be like seagulls looking for a tip. It's awesome you blokes are heading there, and we've got the details of our trip. We're up, Gordon and I flying Jetstar, Sydney to Ballina at 10 a.m. on the 20th of September.
Which is a Wednesday. I'll be at Warwick Farm.
So anybody who's up there as a local somewhere, because we're going to be betting on the Wednesday Metropolitan meeting, that's why we're flying up in the morning. So we're going to sit in a pub or a club somewhere, whichever one gives good service, and have our little laptops in there and be punting away if you want to rock up. So
so you don't know where you're going to be drinking.
Well, somebody should
the Lismore local
recommend a place. So
give us a tip.
Okay. Where are we actually staying?
to be advised.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? Not on the course.
So I'm coming up on the Thursday morning, early in the morning, so I'll meet the boys for breakfast about 9.
Catching the Rex flight up 7 a.m. on Thursday morning.
So if you want to go up with the boys, there's more chance that the Jetstar flight will get there safely. Come up on the Rex, about even money if you're hanging with me that could go down. I don't run that good.
And what is there a cow cutter on the Wednesday night that we're going to be attending?
Yeah, we'll be sure. I'm going to miss that, unfortunately.
Okay,
I'd like to go on that.
You do the form quickly as well, Glenn. We might buy a couple of horses or get a little bit of kitty together, eh? Be a bit of fun. Yeah.
Exactly. So cow cutter Wednesday night, Lismore Cup Thursday will be a gala, and then we're filming the preview show for, it will be Randwick, I think.
On the track at Lismore on Friday.
Yes.
We have the winning post in the background. That's what they do like on Racing Retro and that. On a big carnival the next day.
Yes, they do too.
Yeah. We'll be like that little Racing Rant battlers. Yeah, little battlers.
And then
We'll show that Sky Productions what life's all about.
And then we're flying out of Ballina at 4:50 p.m. Friday afternoon.
Yeah, and we won't be missing the flight. All right, if it's 4:50 at Ballina, I'll be at the airport at 1:30. Fucking, I don't miss flights. Hanging around
you know what? It's just such a beautiful area of the world. I wouldn't mind stopping in some other places as well.
Yes.
Anyway, you won't let me, will you?
No, you can do what you like. I won't be with you.
Wagering Fiend wants to know, of all the factors you consider when doing the form for a race, which, if any, do you not put into your prices? That's a really interesting question. It's like, you know, I'm not a, I don't set up a table where I plus for this, minus for that, you know.
Say it again. What was the question again?
When doing the form for a race,
yes.
What don't you factor in?
Easy for me, weight.
I don't factor in weights.
It's not quite right. You factor everything in, but there's different scales. So the one I take least notice of is weight.
I have to say that when I am doing the form for a wet track, I ignore wet trackers. Or I don't focus on the fact that the track is wet, I focus on running style. So I'm not looking for horses that handle it, I'm looking for horses that I think will be in the right position, as opposed to evidence of it being a wet track.
Okay. 2 good points.
Isn't like fitness there as well? Yeah. I know a lot of blokes argue about the value between the wet tracker and the horse that's fit, and which is actually more valuable on a wet track. And there are lots of differing opinions out there.
But there's also, sometimes there's requirement for freshness on a wet track, and there are different types of wet tracks, so there's a lot there. Ian writes, hi all, I'd like to go through a few points, just for your info. Races at Cessnock you spoke about with the small Betfair pool, there was an outage at the time. TQ was also good enough to tell me that as well. Nevertheless, the gist of your argument is correct that the turnover is dropping. I'm told that Betfair is down about 20% on Sydney race, on the New South Wales race yard.
Wow. Well, that'd go hand in hand with the turnover charge going up.
With regards to the spruikers from the corporates, this is getting a bit silly with bets being quoted willy-nilly when we all know they refuse to let people on. He mentioned the example of another sin, the tab trying to say there was 3,000 bet at $12. You reckon that's a porky or not?
No, I think it's true. It's just a losing account.
Yeah, so I think that you could take that into account, Ian. The fact is that some clever man has used someone else's losing account to get on, perhaps. I also had a rare bet on Swan Hill to find that the official fluctuations came from their sponsor, Bet365. What a joke. John Walter did tweet something that Dominic particularly liked. There's the Country Racing Awards in Victoria are sponsored by Bet365. And so they took a photo of the venue with the tables all set up, but it was prior to the function. Yeah. But anyway, John Walter tweeted that photo and said, obviously Bet365 invited all the people they let on.
Wow.
That's good.
Is very, very clever. Anyway, the most important issue I want to raise, this is Ian, is Raiden at Port Macquarie Race 1. This is before he came to Gosford to win his P&C maiden. I had 5 figures on it from $1.95 into $1.80, and then even though it was acknowledged as being denied a fair start, under the current rules it was not declared a scratching. Check out the steward's report.
Yeah.
So they don't scratch them if they're on places.
Yeah.
We all know that rule.
Yeah, Protect the owner, not the punter.
But that is crap, isn't it?
It's rubbish.
Like, you know, so you run 4th, you get your money back, you run 3rd, you don't get your money back.
Yeah.
There's no
But that's the rule.
I know it's the rule.
Okay,
But you get prize money for fourth, so why shouldn't it be fourth and fifth?
Yeah, that's a point.
So my question is,
If-
what if Winks was on the same boat on Saturday? Would she have been declared a runner or a scratching? And he makes the point, by the way, if a horse runs fourth or worse, can be declared.
So
a
she
non-runner.
went down and got beaten in the neck by Fox Play, and everyone's like truckloaded her at $1.10. Would they have scratched her? The answer is no, they wouldn't have.
No.
So that rule.
Well, you'd like to think they wouldn't have because you've got to stick. I mean, they might have because
Sometimes
it's
you
Winks.
just get fucked and you got to cop it on the chin.
All right. The other thing I want to mention about the stewards is that Mark Van Gestel kindly replied to a couple of my queries about barrier positions, because when you get to see the start of some races, you know, when they do that head on the stalls, and you go,
Out number 4.
yeah, it's coming out of number 4, gate 1, which to me is fine if every single barrier 1 starts out of barrier 4.
It's ludicrous.
But they don't. So listen to this. In capacity fields, barrier 1 is made to start from barrier 1 if there's not enough room to shift the barriers wider. So what they want to do is they want to give 3 horses worth of room start, but if they can't, they can't. They don't.
So therefore, they should never.
It's vexing, isn't it? So it's a bit like this non-runner thing.
No, they should never. If it gets draws
Well-
barrier 1, they should be hard up against the fence. Who cares about anything? Like, you're punting on the fact you think it's going to get buried
Well, okay, but they're invoking safety. Well, that's
Yes.
fine. So then they should redesign the capacity of the fields. So currently you've got a 16-horse start. You'll have to make that a 13-horse start.
If you're making a decision on OH&S, then it has to be consistent, doesn't it?
Well, they're arguing that we do it wherever possible.
there. So it's
Yeah,
discretionary.
I'll say there are 2 ways to argue this thing: is recast the barrier limits, or punters, be aware this is what the stewards do. And if you're in a capacity field, your barrier 1 is barrier 1. If you're in half a field, your barrier 1 is barrier 4.
There's a lot of difference between coming 4 wide. Yeah, the whole race is different. Anyway,
Right. So that's
I'm sick of arguing with stewards.
I think that's something that we need to know.
I suppose it's quite significant for the leader from an outside barrier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The leader from the outside barrier wants barrier 1 to
Want
be
to be
barrier
barrier
1.
1, yeah.
My word, it does.
Jim says, love you blokes. For professionals, you are just that unprofessional. It's refreshing. Keep up the banter and bullshit. Even if I didn't love the races, I just watch for the comedy. Thanks, Glenn. Not only that,
Hey.
I've also learned a lot about what not to do and how one probability can be divided about 6 ways to give 3 possible results. Fantastically encouraging. Thanks for that, Jim.
Oh, this is so funny. Now, I keep hearing about Dicko's Mounting Yard Mail and how does one procure the product? Well, this week and next week,
it's
it'll be
easy.
there for free. You just go, I want to become a gold member
Yeah.
and have a lick of all our products for free. And then after 2 weeks, decide whether you want to hand over 5 or 22 or nothing and brushes, which
Up to you.
all 3 of them, I think, are undeniably good tips. 22 is great value, 5 is great value, brushing is great value.
Look, I know
How can you
It
lose?
sounds ridiculous for me to say, but I mean, you just pay the 22. Like, who cares about $22?
Some people do, but not all flying,
That's
mate.
right. And also, there are people that watch the rant that only want to watch it for
The tipping show?
for the analysis. Not they actually don't want the tips for whatever reason, and that's fair enough. So
But the tips are coming to you for $17 now, plus the $5. So can't make it any cheaper than that, and I hope it's affordable to all of you. And if we start going good, and then you need us to give you 22 back for a punting bank, you just write us a letter. I'd try and get you cash somewhere. Except if you're Dallas or Todd Buckingham, you can't get any money. You've got enough of us. Ty Anglin, you can't get anything either. Fucking Ty Anglin.
Phil from Perfect Rhyme, he said, thanks for the reference to my favourite horse last week. On reflection, I think she actually ran out of her skin on Saturday, however, she is one of those horses that always will, because she's a real trier.
What horse is she?
Real triers of Perfect Rhyme.
Oh, okay, this is Phil. Yeah, now I know with you.
I
Right.
mean, how good would it be, for example, to own ISO Ridge? What a freaking thrill that is.
Bonnie O'Reilly, what a thrill that would be. Just keeps winning.
I don't know, Winks. I wouldn't mind owning Winks. She just keeps on winning too, doesn't she?
You'd have to hang around that chick in the purple dress all the
I'll
time.
do it for an ownership in Winks.
Fucking I
Bloody
wouldn't.
hell.
No way. I'm not hanging around her.
Anyway, Karen was a little concerned that she might have jarred up, and Phil goes on to write that the track which we referred to, because Amanda Turner was allowed to scratch her horse more to gain, was more like a 2 or even a 1. 2 jockeys were heard to describe the track as like glass. No upgrade of the track as they were afraid of the possibility of multiple late scratchings. So it seems that the powers that be deceive at both ends, i.e. 3 when it should be a 2 or a 1, and 7 when it should be a 9 or a 10. What has happened to their duty of care? A huge number of horses that ran on Saturday will have to take an extra week off to get over the track. I wonder what they would have done if an international was racing on Saturday. Lots more water, I would think. What do you make of all that? Because as punters, you know, most punters want...
We are lied to because they worry about the political correctness of the look of our industry.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. It's like, for example, people will say, horse snaps a leg and dies. Let's just give an example. That's a real tragedy. Even I don't like seeing that, even though I don't care, but I don't like seeing it. I don't want to say I don't care too much because I get in trouble. But, how can you put it? If someone said to you, like, you had a really grouse life, you did really well at school, you did really well at sport, you got to 18, you went to uni, you rooted a million shillers, you were partying, you did well, you got a good job, you're in your 20s, you're partying, plenty of money, a million broads, 28, you wake up, you go around the corner, you die in head-on collision. That would be a tragedy. What I'm saying, is it better that you had lived and done that than never have lived at all?
Well, you're going the old Achilles thing, aren't you? When God asked him a long life or a short, eventful
well,
life.
that's what I can't understand with people who don't like horse racing. I mean, the horses have wonderful lives, and a certain percentage get smashed up and die, or get injured and retired. It's not sad, it's just life.
Well, and then it happens with human beings too.
The Hiroshima bomb. It killed 250,000 people one night. They all went to sleep. But did it stop 10 million people getting killed over another 5 years of war? Maybe it did. Wasn't it the greatest act of...
Well, I'm not sure about that in reference.
But that's what happened. The war stopped.
No,
That's an argument.
Vexing, argument, that one.
But didn't the war stop?
Yeah, but...
Well, not after, they then had to give it to Nagasaki, but then after that, fucking those 2 cities just copped it straight up the dart. But the blokes who count the beans said...
but it's action v reaction, so were they going to surrender anyway, or was it the bombs that made them surrender?
They fucking weren't surrendering, Gord.
Well, we'll see. Because, I mean, a lot of people said the only reason the bombs were used was because America wanted to show Russia that they had the atomic bomb, so it wasn't actually about stopping the war, it was actually more about intimidation. But then maybe you could argue that saved lives as well, because then Russia and America didn't go to war and it became a Cold War.
Come on, Kim.
It's all very confusing.
Kim Jong, if you can let him off this week before we start this new free membership, I'll be a happier bloke.
We should put a dummy in. Kim Jong buys our $22 a week.
Well, they had a GoFundMe page for Frank's funeral, did really, really well, and a lot of blokes out there are so generous, including Kingsley Bartholomew, who put one of the biggest donations in there, and people a lot of people, and then some bloke put in fake Danny Wilder $5. Like, I don't know who you were that wrote that, but you are a fucking funny bloke. And Frank, even though he was a bit of dickhead in it, Frank would piss himself over that.
Wow, that is
and they cover the cost of the funeral and the wake, and everything is wrapped up beautifully with a lot to be left over, donated to some charity. And one of the leading blokes who donated was Young Kings. So. If I can find a more decent bloke than Kingsley, let us fucking know, would you?
Right, so Glenn, you'll be at the funeral on Friday. What time's the funeral?
10:30, Marcus. 10:30 at Matraville somewhere. I don't know. Yeah.
Valet Frank. Hi fellas, listening to your show on Monday, I was surprised when you said you couldn't find Aubrey. Had a really good win on him. This is Dave Potter. Really good win on him following one of Mark's pearls. It wasn't the only reason I backed him, but was the clincher to make the case for Aubrey. Last start he was ridden by an apprentice on a wet track. He went for acceptances. This time Glyn was aboard at his best. He is the best.
He is the best.
The fave Sayed was a hot fave based on wet track form. His only win on a good track. The horse he beat, Malaysia, has had 4 starts since and been beaten on bush tracks. Gunnedah, Muswellbrook, Gunnedah and Scone every time. In fact, only ran 1 placing. What does it take to make a horse a false price? Question mark. Last start, Aubrey took off at about the 700 when got on the Grange, made his run early, dragging the favourite Sayed into the race. If ever a horse PR'd, it was Sayed at its last start. I won't argue with that. Both Sayed and Get on the Grange had raced 100 metres previous to their last runs. So what you saw was the best you were going to get. Now for the Mark Pearl. Aubrey was going from 1800 to 2400 at his last start. The best form for a 2400 metre race is, I say is, a 2400 metre race. That's a well-acknowledged pearl. Right, so both Get on the Grange and Sayed had a massive advantage at the previous meeting over Aubrey. Not this time. This time it was Aubrey's second start at the 2400 too. Then even if that ain't enough, Sayed is $1.60, get on the Grange about at $7 and Aubrey's 25. Sure, Sayed probably should be favourite, posted the $3 for mine, I'm not sure about that. This was a totally different race. Last start was on a wet track, this time it was a good track. Last start was a fast pace, that was unlikely this time. Aubrey should have been much closer to him in the betting than he was. For mine, there was only one horse you could even consider backing. Ignore what you think will win. Value is always king. But Mark, 2400 metre form for a 2400 metre race, I'm disappointed that you didn't listen to your own advice. That's why some of us are teaching.
I only wish I could have read this email the morning of the race.
Keep up the good
I
work.
would have read it, and you know, everybody has their different opinions and their ways to make money, but if I had to reprice that race, I'd have Sayed 6-4 on.
Yeah,
I think it wins the race 2 out of 3 times.
Yeah, I know, but you'd still actually have Aubrey.
You throw something on Aubrey after listening to that, though.
No.
No, but you got 40.
I'm taking $1.80 Sayed that I've marked 6-4 on. That's my only bet.
That's fine. What price are you marking Aubrey? How much
Read that email. What price are you marking Aubrey now?
How much of the 40% are you giving it?
Well, I don't know.
You read that email.
20 to 1.
It's a dead set 10 to 1 chance.
Yeah,
You're getting 30s.
The best
That bloke's completely right.
I just
Okay,
don't
so
care about things outside
Dave,
the market. I just don't even
No,
look
no,
at
that's
them.
fine. That's fine. And
So
that's,
when we get a run in 6 months of like Billy Blogs, you're going to be able to play because you don't look at them at all.
No, if I'm taking $1.80 a horse that's going to win 2 out of 3 times, I'm making money in the long run.
That's fine.
And my bank can cover it.
I'm just trying to...
So,
In relation to this horse, the Pearl is right. What I failed to look at, Dave, was the fact that Aubrey had only had one run at 2400, whereas the others had multiple runs at 2400. So,
He's exactly right. Everything you write's there.
yep, that's
It was
perfect analysis.
A great analysis. Sure, it's after the race, but they were his thoughts probably before the race. I just wish he'd fucking sent me the email.
So he goes on to say, Dave, he's a good correspondent. We get at least 2 emails from Dave every week. I'm flabbergasted and deflated from backing a winner on Betfair. I'm surprised he's taken so long. The commission rate was 10%. Did I say I was flabbergasted? Betfair explained that New South Wales has put up their charges by 52%. Are they freaking kidding me? It means the tab can now compete with Betfair. Not with this little black duck. Not only will I never bet on a New South Wales race with Betfair again, but I will be cancelling my New South Wales tab account as well in protest after Saturday. We'd do it before, but I already have a bet on Saturday's races with them. I feel I won't be able to sit down for a month after what Pete did to me. I didn't even know I was bending over with good old Pete standing right behind me at the ready. I might not be the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree, although the Aubrey email would suggest you are, but I'm not as dumb as a bag of rocks either, and I hope other punters do the same and vote with their wallets. How can he think Betfair is a bookmaker? It is black and white, they ain't.
Yep.
The question is Pete as dumb as a bag of rocks? Best of luck, Dave.
Well, let me say something about Pete. He's not as dumb as a bag of rocks. He's a pretty smart operator, but I think your point about is Betfair a bookmaker? I agree with you. I don't think they are. But Betfair didn't want to defend itself. It went to court and basically pled guilty and copped a sweep.
And the other point is that the tab is New South Wales Racing's business partner. So they have an arrangement. Yeah. They have a contractual arrangement between
very happy place at the moment in the tab. If you've been there 30 years, expect a tap on the shoulder this afternoon. What they do is they tell you you're sacked and you've got 25 minutes to leave the building, and they put a security guard next to you to empty your decks as they march frog you out the building. They're a top joint in the tab at the moment. All the workers in there, they tell me, are A, unemployed or very scared, and they're not even going to watch the show and talk about this little discussion. Man, as I've always said to everybody in racing, you've got to treat racing the way it is, and if you get any chance in racing to get money by putting up bodgy markets and having a bowler back them, you should do it, because all those times that the minute they get to turn their way they want to handle their business, you've done 30 years there and you've been marched out the door this week within 20 minutes. Big hello to all the SAC tab operators. Come on, tell us your stories about the tab. It seems a happy place. Nobody's smashing them in there at the moment.
I will say, Dave, give Betfair a call. If you're not a trader, you might be able to negotiate a lower percentage. So.
I agree.
I think he's trying to make the point that he's trying to make a political point here.
Oh no, I totally agree with that. But he can't sacrifice a tool that he uses to make money. He can sort it out.
He's just backed a winner on Betfair in New South Wales. It's been 2 months, so it's just he's not using.
I'd say he hasn't been using.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to get rid of the tool. He can ring Betfair and say, "Look, I'm only a punter," and he can get his percentage dropped down. So
we finished with nearly all these emails, Marcus.
Just Brian wrote in saying. The death of Eddie the Fireman Birchley. Long-time racing people will remember the occasion in Sydney when Eddie backed a horse that started 6s on. An outsider won the race. The 2 horses involved were Shell Sail and Danish Dancer. The start of the race was delayed due to a bomb scare at the barrier.
Was that the firecrackers going off at the back of the barriers from Hollywood George?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it wasn't a bomb scare. I think what happened, they got a packet of those, you know, Cracker Jack things that used to go, those Tom Thumb things, and Hollywood George got some kid to throw over some things right near the favourite and blew it to smithereens. It wasn't really a bomb scare, but they used to really stitch up that Eddie the Fireman. All the bookies get together. The jockeys were as hot as mustard.
It was great to have someone like that, playing like that.
Awesome.
You know.
Awesome.
And
just complete. The people reckon I've got ice in my blood. Blokes like that, in that range, sixes on, they're marvels.
Steve the jeweller, you know, we need these guys.
You see him at the casino every day.
Yeah, well.
Doesn't come back to the races.
That's sad. It's very sad.
And he likes like, you know, and there's so much opportunity to lay fours on now with him betting win and place.
Exactly.
You know?
A guy that you will see at the track all the time, he's back from America. Hi guys, great to be back at Rose Hill. I can bet with so much more confidence at Rose Hill than any other Sydney track. A couple of observations. Gordo's mate A. Adkins' ride on Broadside was questionable, in my opinion. And kudos to Rachel King on the Waterhouse Ruffy DIC for a very patient ride. Thought Pariah was run well, but thought Chauffeur was a good run first up. How did he parade Glenster? You'd already mentioned that.
Chauffeur, he's some beautiful horse, lovely horse.
Will be attending the Lismore Cup. Question on my mind, who will be doing the presentation at the Cup? Will it be a three-way situation, or will you decide between yourselves who'll actually do it?
What, meaning us? I won't be I don't the only presentation I do will be about after race 3. I'll be in the gents, the door closed, because I always do a dodgy one after an airplane trip.
I reckon we'll get Keepy to do it. There you go.
Who's Keepy?
There's a mate of mine's coming up as well.
You should do it.
By the way, whatever pub or club we're going to for the Wednesday racing, my mate's going up, so can you buy extra rolls of paper, because he likes to have a bet on everything that moves in the whole of the world.
Can't, looking forward to going to
running out of paper.
Anyway, check out side out this week. Send us your thoughts in as well. It's most important of what you think. Do you think we're, you know, kidding, or you know, you think it's fair enough? Like we said, we've outlined the prices, and
you can give it to us, but we're doing it anyway.
Yeah, I know, but I still don't mind that.
We have to trial it.
We're going to trial it, and then we're going to give it 3 months, because we also want to work out where this business goes.
Yep.
All right,
I mean, the way I'm heading, I'm looking at postal job at Coogee Post Office, looking at the stamps.
Yeah, guys.
Thanks, Ty.
Anyway, we'll be shooting out emails and doing stuff on Facebook and stuff like that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So this week's shows, the last 3 shows. That's tomorrow's show for Canterbury, and Friday's show for Randwick Winks Day, Johnson Stakes Day on Saturday. But sign up this week and you'll start receiving the products on Saturday.
Hello.
So all September products.
Hi Brian, how are you? Look, can you ring me back in 5 minutes?
Next week's rant will be.
I'm just finishing the show right now. Bye. Sorry guys.
Right.
Good old Brian Fletcher there. Yeah.
You got the compulsory phone call, so stay tuned and sign up.
I won't be here Friday though, guys. Did you know that? Yeah.
Roy Key will be sitting in for Glenn for the Randwick preview on Friday.
Right, thanks very much, and this is Glenn Pollitt signing off from after 7 years of his last free show.